are invited to go to Turkey. They wear Turkish garb, okay? They get on stage. In fact, I can pull up some of the YouTubes, okay? You see like black kids, right, from the inner city singing Turkish songs that have religious connotations. It is not part of the curriculum. But the after-school programs and what they call these Turkish Olympics, you get to go to a foreign country, you get to fly in an airplane, you get to stay in a hotel, right? And yet your family can barely afford to put food on the table. Man, I'm taking that 10 times out of 10. But if you're a 14-year-old kid, so that's how they do it. That's how they do it. Yes, sir.
I think you said that some school boards have closed some of these schools.
Yes.
How do they do it?
Okay, so
And why?
yeah, there's not one defining reason. Each one is different. Some of them have closed because there are very powerful unions in that city, and these teachers are all non-union. Okay? And the school board just did not want to take the heat from the union over it. That's one reason. Another reason is that they found that in some of these schools, the teachers were not qualified. You have people teaching English that can barely speak English, right? In other instances, there was so much kind of community uproar about this, because once you get a license to operate a charter school, it's not indefinite. It is for a term, and you have to then renew. Okay, it's kind of like a driver's license. You get a driver's license for 5 years, and then you have to requalify again after 5 years. And so when they come up again the next time, they did not renew them. So it's really kind of all over the board, but these are very isolated, right?
One approach to make is a very good one. You've got to communicate what's going on. It won't be very powerful. You have communication. It could be on YouTube, it could be a PowerPoint presentation, it could be people who could then send it on to other people. I mean, for me, capture all the content is very difficult. If you gave me a primer, it would be easy.
So there are two people that go all over the country speaking on this. And they're both actually former teachers at the Gulan schools. And man, they are manic about it. And if you want, I'll give you the website. But they've done these webinars on the Gulan movement. The total webinars are 3.5 hours, to give you an idea. Okay? It is, and I'll tell you, by the end of that, Sophie Tokatov, if you know what I mean. I mean, it's like, wow, man, this is really terrifying. And they've connected everything in terms of these different foundations and organizations. So the point is, it's already up there and it's already available. The problem is, number one, they're buying the influence, right, with these trips. And number two, school boards don't care. All they care about is meeting the budget, being able to go back to the voters and say, kids in our district, their test scores increased by 10%, and we've taken so many kids out of poverty, and now, the X percent of kids in this socioeconomic scale have now enrolled in college. That's how you get reelected, right? And that's, unfortunately, Gulan has figured out that he's taking advantage of that. Their agenda and his agenda are totally different.
Yes, over there.
So what you're saying, you're giving us all this information, but what is going to be done? Is there anything to be done to stop the movement? And what happens if he should pass away? Is there a whole organization with all that money that continues on with it?
Yeah,
Is there anything we can do, or we just go home and worry every night?
So the question is, whether he has a succession plan and whether there's anything we can do to stop the movement. I am here to talk to you because I have 4 children, right? Hopefully someday they're going to have children, and I want them to stay in the church. And the people that are going to be the most receptive to this, by far, are people that were victimized by the Turks. Us, right? Our papus and our yayas, and people that are from Asia Minor. I mean, this resonates because, you know, when we hear this, we hear our grandparents talking to us about what they went through. You know, somebody that, Tim Delson, who grew up, in Central Florida, they don't care. They're just not going to care. And so, I guess what I'm telling you is I'm concerned about the Orthodox kids and our Orthodox community and making sure that we know and then taking steps where we can to stop them. And frankly, we have been very successful in many respects. I mean, Turkey, just as an example, so the State Department has a kind of a human rights rating list. And there is and the worst category is, on the Human Rights Watch, is countries of exceptional concern. And there were only like 6 countries on that list. Turkey was one of them for human rights violations. 2 years ago, they were removed. They didn't just move up to the next level. They were removed from all the lists altogether. And a number of folks associated with the Archons mostly just raised holy heck about that. And they met with people from the State Department and all that and got them back on the list. Now, it wasn't in the worst category. It was one up. But it is a constant struggle. This is not something like, I'm going to write one letter, got it off my chest, good. It is a constant struggle, right? Constant struggle.
I'll take 2 more questions and then we're done. John.
I'm not sure whether you're aware or not, but in higher education, Turkey, the Turkish government has funded and endowed at least 20 chairs at universities from Yale to the University of California. They're doing exactly the same thing for the higher education level.
Right. That's right.
I'll take still 2 more questions.
He said that Turkey has funded endowed chairs in many universities. There's at least 20. That's exactly right. Yeah.
I've been in education for 30 years in New York City, and we're having a terrible time with our charter schools, and there are Muslim schools over there too. First of all, their scores are high in graduating because 54% of the students drop out. They don't want the special ed kids. They get on top of the parents and they have those kids removed. Right away, you have higher scoring students.
That's true. In fact, that was the basis for some of the closures, is that they were discriminating against special ed kids.
Right. So we're having a very difficult time, and it's unfortunate that the parents are not informed enough about what's going on. And I don't know what the solution to that is, but certainly I don't understand. Well, I guess I do understand why the local governments go ahead and give these schools permission to open the charter schools. But that shouldn't be. What are the guidelines? What's going to happen to the future of our students, as we said, when we have these charter schools? They have no science program. I saw a science lab. The ones that I've seen don't have any science lab. This is for profit, they said. We can't afford. We're not going to put a science lab. That was probably that movie was made just for the United States to see how well we're doing. But we really have a very big problem on our hands, and we should go after our politicians to end this.
Last question, Dr. Blasi.
Did everybody try out the channel subjective of the 60-minute program, like folk channel with the variety program? To talk about it?
I'm sorry, I did not
Give you this.
Channel with O'Reilly program.
O'Reilly program. What about it?
Anybody want to talk about it?
Oh, I don't know. Possible.
That would be good.
There is, I will tell you, if you go home and Google Gulen schools, you'll get thousands of hits. Most of them very critical, very, very critical. Okay.
Excuse me, you're
Okay.
saying that it tells the difference between the girls being taught and the boys.
Yes, so there is no doubt that Well, in the public schools, they're very careful here in the U.S., okay? Very, very careful. But when the girls participate in these Turkish Olympics, okay, the costume includes the headdress. And most importantly, at the management levels, I mean on the board level of these schools, they're almost all men. The principals are all men. There is, look, it's just, this is not a controversial issue. It is a fact that in the Quran, a woman's word is worth half a man's. That's just a fact. That's what it says. All right? So, and this guy's an imam. Okay? All right? It would be like one of our priests saying that the Trinity is not real. I mean, you can't do that. If you're a priest, you accept the doctrine that we have. Same with him.
I think I'm going to have to stop. I think we're moving, the time has passed, and I want to do two things. One is we have to thank again
Sorry I took so long.
Zavitsanos. And before we leave, there's a couple of awards that we want to.
Right, I'd like to invite, if you don't mind, the co-chairs of the Christian Rights and Freedom Steering Committee, so Mr. Demas, Richard Kappas, if you could also please come up. And if you could also invite Dr. Clemens, as the chair of the Christian Relief, to please come forward. There's several things that we'd like to share with you, John. We'd certainly like to present to you as a token of our appreciation something that we hope that will help you to remember us, because we don't want this to be a once and done. We really do hope that we'll be able to continue this relationship and you'll be back. And so we have an award here that says an appreciation of your support for our Christian rights and freedom movement and for enlightening our community. Mr. John Zavitsanos, Esquire, the 23rd of January 2015, St. Catherine's Before Christ Church. Please come forward and just hold that. And then finally, of course, we want you to remember that it is St. Catherine who loves you here in Naples. And so we have a beautiful icon of St. Catherine. And on the back it says here, John, greetings in Christ. We are indeed very grateful, and we thank you for taking the time to be with us at St. Catherine and to address us on the most timely issue of Islamic influence in the U.S. charter schools. May your inspired words energize us to uplift Christ, witnessing for our faith in the face of radical extremism. And may our Lord Jesus Christ richly bless you for your love. Always with love from our church.
Thank you very much. I just want to remind everybody of the next event that we invite you all to come. This is on March 14th. It's Saturday, 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. In this church hall, we have a symposium on religious freedom, where the national commander of the Archons, Dr. Anthony Limberakis, will be the keynote speaker, and Father Fuad Saba, the dean of the St. George Antiochian Church in Coral Gables, Florida. He will be speaking as well. Please take a save the date with you before you leave out. Mark it in your calendars. We like to see this and twice as many people. We hope to fill this hall for that day. So, if you haven't left your email with us in the table there, please do so we can contact you with further information regarding all of our events. We'll send you emails on that and keep you abreast. Thank you very, very much for coming on behalf of the committee, the Christian Rights and Freedom Committee. We appreciate it. Thank you.